Imagine you're filling a swimming pool. You've got the hose running. The water is flowing. You're doing everything right. But the pool never fills. You add more water. Still doesn't fill. You upgrade to a bigger hose. Still nothing. And after months of running water into this pool, the level is exactly where it started. Because what you didn't notice, what you couldn't see from above, is that there are 5 holes in the bottom of the pool. And every gallon you pour in drains out through holes you didn't know existed. You don't have a water problem. You have a hole problem. And until you plug the holes, no amount of water will ever fill the pool. That pool is your financial life. The water is your income. And the 5 holes are the 5 wealth killers that silently drain more money from more people than any market crash, any recession, or any single bad decision ever could. These aren't small habits. These are systemic forces, deep structural patterns that operate beneath your daily awareness and redirect hundreds of thousands of dollars away from your future over a lifetime. And the most dangerous thing about them is that they feel completely normal. They feel like life. They feel like the way everyone does things. Until you see them for what they are. Holes in the bottom of your pool. My name is Max, and I want to help you learn how to make your money work more for you in your life. This channel is about identifying and eliminating the invisible forces that keep smart, hardworking people from building the wealth they deserve. If you've been earning, working, and trying, but the pool still isn't filling, subscribe, because today we're finding and plugging every hole. So here's the conventional explanation for why most people don't build wealth. They don't earn enough, or they spend too much. And those explanations are comfortable because they're simple, but they're wrong. There are people earning $200,000 who are broke, and there are people earning $50,000 who are wealthy. The variable isn't the water, it's the holes. And the 5 wealth killers I'm about to describe are the holes that exist at every income level, in every city, and in every demographic. They're universal, and they're universally unrecognized. Think of these 5 killers not as individual problems, but as a system. They reinforce each other. Each one makes the other stronger. Eliminating one weakens the others. And eliminating all 5 creates a wealth-building environment so powerful that even modest income produces extraordinary results over time. The system works against you when the killers are active. It works for you when they're eliminated. But here's where it gets really interesting. Let me walk you through all 5, in order from the most subtle to the most destructive. Wealth killer number 1, financial ignorance. Not stupidity, ignorance. The specific, measurable lack of knowledge about how money actually works. And I'm not talking about advanced finance. I'm talking about the basics that determine 90% of financial outcomes. How compound interest works, how tax-advantaged accounts work, how credit scores are calculated, how insurance is priced, and how investing in an index fund actually functions. Most Americans don't know these things, not because they're incapable of learning them, but because nobody taught them. Financial literacy is not required in most school systems. Parents who didn't have financial knowledge couldn't pass it on, and the financial industry profits from your ignorance, because confused consumers pay higher fees, accept worse terms, and make decisions that benefit institutions rather than themselves. The cost of financial ignorance is staggering. FINRA research shows that people with low financial literacy pay approximately $1,200 more per year in unnecessary fees, higher interest rates, and suboptimal financial product choices. Over a 40-year career, that's $48,000 in direct costs, and roughly $230,000 when you account for the compounding of those lost dollars. $250,000 lost to not knowing things that take roughly 20 hours to learn. The fix: dedicate 20 hours, the length of a single online course, to financial literacy fundamentals, compound interest, index fund investing, tax-advantaged accounts, credit score optimization, insurance basics. 20 hours, $230,000 in lifetime value, the highest hourly rate you'll ever earn. Wealth killer number 2, Financial procrastination. You know what to do. You've known for months, maybe years. You understand compound interest. You've heard about index funds. You even have a brokerage account bookmarked, but you haven't started, not because you decided not to, but because you just haven't yet. I'll start next month. I'll figure it out after the holidays. I need to research more before I commit. Financial procrastination is the most expensive non-action in personal finance. Every year of delay costs roughly $100,000 to $150,000 in ultimate retirement wealth on a $500 per month contribution at 8%. 5 years of I'll start soon costs approximately $400,000 to $700,000. Not money lost through bad decisions. Money that simply never existed because the compounding clock never started ticking. The psychology is specific. Financial procrastination isn't laziness. It's a combination of analysis paralysis. The overwhelming number of options creates decision fatigue and present bias, the tendency to prioritize immediate comfort over future benefit. Your brain treats the act of setting up an investment account as a complex, high-stakes decision, but it's not. It's a 15-minute task that runs automatically forever after. The fix is structural. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Open a Roth IRA or increase your 401k contribution. Select a target date fund. Automate the transfer. The decision is made once. The system runs forever. 15 minutes to plug a hole that drains $400,000 to $700,000. And this is the part most people miss. Wealth killer number 3, lifestyle inflation. This is the silent killer. The one that catches even high earners and experienced investors. Here's how it works. You get a raise. Your income goes up by $5,000 per year, and within 3 to 6 months, your expenses have increased by $4,500. The nicer apartment, the better car, the dining upgrade, the lifestyle expansion. Each individual increase feels earned, reasonable, and deserved. But collectively, they consume 90% of every income increase, leaving essentially nothing for the compounding engine. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Data confirms the pattern. Consumer spending increases almost in lockstep with income across every bracket. Households earning $50,000 spend about $47,000. Households earning $100,000 spend about $88,000. Households earning $150,000 spend about $118,000. The savings rate barely changes. People don't earn their way to wealth. They inflate their way to stagnation. The mechanism is hedonic adaptation, your brain's tendency to adjust to improvements and return to a baseline level of satisfaction. The nicer apartment feels amazing for a month. Then it's just your apartment. The satisfaction fades, but the payment persists, and you're paying a permanent premium for a temporary pleasure. The math on lifestyle inflation is devastating. If every $500 per month raise is fully absorbed into lifestyle, and you earn raises averaging $3,000 per year over 20 years, the total lifestyle inflation is $60,000 per year by year 20. If instead you captured just 40% of each raise, $200 per month, and invested it, the escalating contributions produce approximately $380,000 over the same period. The cost of lifestyle inflation isn't the lifestyle. It's the $380,000 portfolio that was never built. The fix, the 40% rule. When you receive any income increase, automatically redirect 40% to investments before you adjust your lifestyle. The remaining 60% is yours to enjoy. Your life still improves with every raise, but your investment engine improves too. The two grow together rather than one consuming the other. Wealth killer number 4, social comparison spending. This killer operates through your social network. Friends, family, coworkers, social media. You see what they drive, where they eat, how they vacation, and your spending unconsciously calibrates to match. Not because you're trying to keep up, but because human beings are social creatures who instinctively mirror the behavior of their peer group. Research from the Philadelphia Federal Reserve found that peer spending influences personal spending more powerfully than income growth. When your social circle spends more, you spend more, regardless of whether your income supports it. The social signal overrides the financial calculation, and the cost is enormous. $200 to $500 per month in comparison-driven spending that produces no lasting satisfaction because the comparison resets with every new observation. Over 30 years at 8%, $300 per month in eliminated comparison spending produces approximately $447,000 in invested wealth, nearly $500,000 spent not on things you wanted, but on things your social environment made you feel you needed. The fix isn't finding new friends or deleting social media, though reducing social media consumption does help. The fix is awareness. Before any non-essential purchase, ask, would I buy this if nobody could ever see it? If the answer is no, the purchase is serving the comparison, not your life. That single question, asked consistently, eliminates the majority of comparison-driven spending. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because the fifth wealth killer is the deadliest of all. Wealth killer number 5, debt normalization. This is the most structurally destructive force in American personal finance. It's the cultural acceptance, the expectation, that debt is a normal, permanent, unavoidable part of adult life. Car payments are normal. Student loan payments are normal. Credit card balances are normal, and because they're normal, they're unquestioned. The monthly payment is just part of the landscape. And that acceptance, that normalization, is the most expensive financial belief a person can hold. Here's why. When debt is normalized, it doesn't get treated as a problem to be solved. It gets treated as a condition to be managed. You don't aggressively eliminate the car payment. You make the payment and accept it as a permanent fixture. You don't attack the credit card balance. You pay the minimum and carry the rest. And the interest on that carried debt, 22% on credit cards, 7 to 9% on car loans, 5 to 8% on student loans, silently compounds against you every month. The average American household pays approximately $8,000 to $12,000 per year in interest alone. Money that produces absolutely nothing, no asset, no experience, no growth, just the cost of borrowing. Over a 30-year career, that's $240,000 to $360,000 in interest payments, and roughly $600,000 to $900,000 in lost compounding when you account for what that money would have generated if invested instead. The psychological mechanism is a concept called normalization of deviance, the gradual acceptance of abnormal conditions as normal through repeated exposure. When everyone around you has car payments feel inevitable. When every adult you know carries some debt feels like a rite of passage, but it's not inevitable. And it's not a rite of passage. It's a wealth killer that operates by convincing you it's just life. The fix is denormalization. Treat every debt as a temporary emergency to be resolved with urgency, not a permanent condition to be managed. The car payment isn't my car payment. It's $580 per month that's being redirected from my investment account to a bank. Reframing debt from normal to urgent changes the behavior. You pay it off faster, you avoid taking on new debt, and you redirect the freed cash flow to investments immediately. Now let me show you the combined math, because the 5 killers don't just add up, they multiply. Financial ignorance, $230,000 lifetime cost. Financial procrastination, $400,000 to $700,000. Lifestyle inflation, $380,000. Social comparison, $447,000. Debt normalization, $600,000 to $900,000. The theoretical maximum combined cost, over $2.5 million. Now, not everyone experiences all 5 at maximum intensity, but most people experience 3 or 4 of them to some degree. A realistic combined cost for the average American is $800,000 to $1,500,000 in lifetime wealth destruction from forces they didn't know existed. And here's the flip side. The person who eliminates all 5 wealth killers, who becomes financially literate, starts investing immediately, captures 40% of every raise, disconnects spending from social signals, and treats debt as an emergency builds wealth at a rate that's 4 to 6 times faster than the person who doesn't. Not because they earn more, because nothing is leaking out the bottom of the pool. The identity of the person who has eliminated the 5 killers is the identity of a wealth builder. They don't need motivation. They don't need willpower. They have a system that automatically directs money toward compounding and away from destruction. The killers are gone. The holes are plugged. And every dollar that enters the pool stays in the pool. Here's what elimination looks like in real life. You get a $4,000 raise. Instead of the lifestyle absorbing it, the 40% rule automatically redirects $133 per month to investments. Your life improves and your portfolio accelerates simultaneously. A friend plans an expensive group trip. Instead of comparison-driven compliance, you ask, would I choose this if nobody else was going? The answer is no. You suggest a less expensive alternative. You save $2,000 and invest it. Your car loan is paid off. Instead of financing a new car with the freed $580 per month, you drive the paid-off car for 3 more years and invest the $580. In 3 years, you have an additional $23,400 in investments, plus a car that still works. And the career effects of eliminating the 5 killers create a flywheel. Financial literacy makes you a better negotiator. Early investing gives you walkaway power. Controlled lifestyle gives you flexibility. Freedom from comparison gives you clarity. And freedom from debt gives you options. Together, these 5 eliminations produce a person who negotiates from confidence, makes career moves from strength, and builds wealth from every direction simultaneously. The person without the killers advances faster, earns more, and compounds harder, creating a gap that widens every year. So here's where I want to leave you. And honestly, this applies to everything we've talked about on this channel. You don't need more water. You need fewer holes. The income is flowing. The work is happening. The effort is real. But the 5 wealth killers are draining the pool faster than you can fill it. And no raise, no bonus, no side hustle will overcome a pool with 5 holes in the bottom. Plug the holes. Learn the basics. 20 hours. Start investing. 15 minutes. Capture 40% of every raise. Ask, would I buy this if nobody could see it? And treat every debt as a temporary emergency. 5 eliminations, 5 structural changes, and a pool that finally, after years of running the hose, starts to fill. The water was never the problem. The holes were. And now you know where every single one is. Plug them and watch the water rise.